It is another beautiful day out here today. The weather has been on point. A little chilly. I think probably gonna go throw on a long sleeve shirt real quick. But what we gotta do is actually, we've been up since 5:30 in the morning. We picked up that storage unit that I was talking about yesterday in the video, and we already did part of it. It is in the backyard in Woodrow, and it's actually pretty good for a $500 unit. We found a lot of stuff, a lot of like old like collectible toys and stuff that I wouldn't think would be in the unit. But what we're gonna do today is that, yeah, definitely have to go get a long sleeve shirt on. It is chilly in here. When you get in the sun, it's nice and warm, but if you're like in the shade, it is actually kind of cold. So what we're gonna do today, go ahead and open up the back here. We still have to go ahead and grease up that, but all the leaves, I'm gonna see if I can mulch them up with this thing and just go around and see exactly if I can get the leaves kind of up. I might have to move that out of the way. We're not really cutting the grass because the grass is not high. I'm only going to like literally do where the leaves are. So over here, and we'll just see if it works. Obviously the grass, it does not need to be cut at all. The grass is not growing dormant, which is nice. So over here, there are no leaves, but like back in here, I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and mulch it up and then do up in here. So we're gonna go ahead, see how this looks. We did not give you a video last night of the outside of the house, which we will actually go ahead and do today, I think, or maybe on another video. We'll see if we can get the outside of the house. Kayla did put some more stuff on the outside. We did find actually in this locker that we're doing, we found some reindeer, which is pretty nice, that we put outside, and some other netting that we found to put outside with the lights. So it's actually worked out pretty good. And so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is see if this works out to chop this stuff up. I have a feeling it's not going to. I do have a feeling that most likely that I'm gonna have to get one of those big bagger things that you connect to your lawnmower to get the leaves up. Now, here's the thing about that, is that I did look, and leaves are actually really good for the soil. They like decompose. That's the whole reason of the fall, I think. And so I don't really want to, I want the grass to be really nice next year, wherever it is. So I don't know, we're going to just see if this thing works. They do make mulching blades, so I don't even know if I need to get one of them. Remember, I have never owned any type of property in my life, and this is the first time we are here in the winter. Last time, remember, we bought this house in March, so we haven't been here that long, so we haven't seen this actually in winter. By March, it was actually mid-March. That's almost around spring. Things were starting to, grow again and stuff like that. So I'm guessing that all of this on this side kind of goes away. So that's why we were thinking about doing another fence right here, only on this side, because we know we can see like 2 houses over and stuff like that. So this might be a real big project that Dad and I might do. And then over here, keep this the way it is. Maybe do a little fence from that fence here to that wood line, and then call it right there and go from there until they develop land. Then we'll put another fence in, but we might actually put a bigger fence in. That's a long way too. That would be a very expensive fence, but we like where people can't see in the property. So if you like stuff like that, it costs a lot of money to make people not be able to see in your property. Fences, gates, yada yada yada. I gotta go grab the key to see if there's actually any fuel in this thing, and gotta put on a little sweatshirt or something because in the shade it's chilly. All right, y'all, now we only have like 12 hours on this Cub Cadet, and she is dead. I was just doing my thing out here, and she's completely dead. She's shut off, won't turn back on. There's definitely an oil leak in here that I'm seeing, but that it has oil in it, and she's piping hot right now. And what I'm also seeing here is that doesn't that look like sediment in there? See that right there? I don't know what that is. I might have to pull this fuel filter off. It seems like to me it's not getting fuel. I am not good at small engines, like at all. So if this ain't a fuel filter thing, I think I might have another one inside the garage because I bought a kit for this, and then maybe a spark plug thing, but we're gonna have to push it. We're gonna have to push it way up there, and then see if I can get this thing started. When it sits, it seems like it does a little bit better, but right now she is not. Well, again, it's also piping hot. So we don't want to like put this out and get the fuel on the hotness, and then boom, you have a thing. But it's definitely leaking oil pretty good, which is not ideal at all. And then we'll see. I mean, I'm not understanding why this thing would die so very fast. It says engine made in USA and a USA global parts. Come on, guys. This is crazy for only having 12 hours on this thing, but she is not happy. All right, so it's definitely fuel related. I moved it out here. We're getting a freshie dumpster in, so that's why all the cars are kind of sitting over here. But my mother-in-law's here, and she said that sometimes hers gets like a bubble in it, and I just put gas in it. So I took the gas cap off, ran decent, put the gas cap back on it, and then it didn't work. I'm thinking that what we're gonna go ahead and do now is, this doesn't, that just looks, something's going on here. And I use non-ethanol gas. Like, none of this has ethanol in it. We're gonna go ahead and change this for sure, because something is going on in here that looks like that. I don't know if it's just discoloration or what's inside there. And then we'll see, does this thing have a carburetor? Are these carbureted? I have no idea. I might have to look on the YouTubes to see exactly what's going on. And I don't even know where it's an overhead cam. Okay, well, that's good to know. This is piping hot also. So what we're gonna have to do is go in here. Is that a zip tie? Caution, engine air index. California only. All right, this is not clean. So we might as well pop the spark plugs out. We might as well see what they look like. We might as well go ahead and see what this looks like. It's only got 18 hours. This is not when you're supposed to do it. Where's the air box at? We'll have to figure out where the air box is. What does this do? What do these do right here? We're in and out, folks. Listen, when I start taking things apart, it's over. Oh man, look at that. Is that the air cleaner? Oh my goodness, what have I been doing? Off-roading? Look at the air thing. Okay, well that could have, does this thing got blow by? All right, that's 100% fuel. I got fuel all up in the air box. What does that even mean, y'all? This is the air filter. I get it. Listen, when I'm out there, I'm getting this thing. Let me show you what it's supposed to look like. So I'm assuming it's supposed to be green, possibly. All right, this is not green. So let's go ahead, pop this on. Let's go ahead and also pull out these guys and see what the spark plugs look like. Looks like they're gapped properly. I'm gonna have to make sure that they're gapped properly. So let's go ahead, put this on here, throw that in the air box, and then see what's going on. I still think it's fuel related, but we're not 100% sure if it's fuel related. But the air cleaner is, I would say, more than dirty. More than dirty. 100%. I wonder if you can just, no, the whole thing's dirty. All right, let's go ahead, do this, put that back on, pop some spark plugs out, and see what we see. So the old ones look actually absolutely fine, to be honest with you. I'm not seeing anything wrong with these. They just look like spark plugs, you know? That one looks like it's actually got some heat to it. And then this one, yeah, they just look like regular spark plugs, honestly. I mean, if I pulled them out of a car, I would be like, that's perfectly fine. But since I'm in here, I might as well just go ahead, put these in here, got the torque wrench out, 20 foot-pounds. I just looked it up to get these things back in here. We'll throw, I mean, 18 hours. Like, there's literally no hours on this thing. So we're going to go ahead, get this thing hopefully going. The next thing, I'm kind of letting it cool down a little bit because I don't want to pull the gas off with this being super hot. The block is hot. And that's actually an aluminum block. Look at that. See this thing? Lightweight aluminum block. It leaks like all those people that said get a John Deere. I mean, were you right? Maybe. I don't know yet. So we have covered air, spark, and now the fuel. And this is sediment in here. If you take a look, it's actually a lot of sediment inside of there. So now here's the issue. I don't know if I'm gonna do this on camera because it's gonna make a mess, is that I have to disconnect this guy without all of this draining through this tube. So I have this tiny little thing right here to see if this works out or not, where I can get it inside of there. Could be a real mess, to be honest with you. Now, obviously the fuel pump's not on, and this does not have, they're talking about a shutoff valve. I don't see a shutoff valve here at all. What is this up here? Where does that go? Is that like a breather tube? Where does that go? Okay, wait a second. That goes to this guy. Where is that? What is this? I'm gonna take that apart, figure out what this thing is. What is that? Some sort of return? I don't know. Does it have a button? No button. Okay. So this is obviously where it's sucking fuel from. So we're gonna have to go ahead, figure this out, take this off without it just squirting fuel absolutely everywhere. All right, well, it is all put together. Got this in there correctly. I did spill. I did really well, and then I knocked the cup over, so that didn't really work out too well. Go ahead. The oil is in perfectly. The oil looks brand new. I just did the oil like 10 hours ago on the break-in, so we're going to go ahead and see if this thing can get started and go back there and get the leaves. If this dies, that is my expertise, is just doing what I just did. After that, we will have to probably... What's in there? Probably take it into the shop. It should still be under warranty, I'm guessing. I have no idea, even if this thing has a warranty. I feel like it should. It was fairly expensive. But let's go ahead, see if we can get this thing started. Take a look at it. She is nice, and I mean, I didn't get all the stuff in the back, honestly, because the leaves you can mulch up pretty good, as you can tell. I mean, they're all basically gone. I mean, that was covered and everything. And even back there, like I said, that was covered. But the pine straw, that just does not go away. So there's no reason to go back there and make a ton of dust and all that stuff and suck all that in my lung holes. And I'm just going to let it pile up, honestly. And then one day I'll go back there and blow it into like a pile or something and then go from there. But I'm pretty excited. The Cub works fine. So guess what? Didn't need to buy a John Deere. It was definitely, I think it was the air and the fuel. Definitely that fuel filter had a lot of sediment in it, which is weird. I use very good fuel in this, and also the air filter, I don't think you're supposed to change it that fast, which means this is dusty here. So I'll probably have to be changing that every 10 hours because that was filthy dirty. Never seen an air filter that dirty in my life. And then it's leaking oil. I don't find that to be a huge issue. It's not like dripping oil. It's just kind of like seeping oil. And I feel like, I mean, that does the same thing. So maybe it's just these engines, that's what they do. I have no idea. Car engines probably shouldn't leak oil. I feel like they'll be perfectly fine. So that ain't too shabby. I got to grab my grease gun. Go ahead, grease all the fittings on that. It's not that exciting to watch, or I would let y'all hang out with me, but it's basically just going around and putting these. These are all probably pretty good. There's one down here that definitely sounds really, really dry because it's making a noise. And then we'll grease this thing up. And after that, we'll see what else we can get into. It's been a couple hours later. I went up and I had to get some stuff done for YouTube. So all of that stuff is now done. Everything's posted for the Bearded Thrift Machine. And tomorrow is Saturday. We're not going to go yard sale. There's not a whole bunch of yard sales. Usually around this time, they start to really thin out because it gets a little bit cold and people just don't like getting up early in the cold. So, and around here, that's just how it is. So what we're going to do is do the rest of the unit in Woodrow. So that will be done, which will be awesome. And then what I'm going to do right now is we did find this today. So we're going to go ahead and see if any of these actually work. A lot of the stuff that we've been finding that we kept for storage units, they have not been working. So we kind of want to make sure that these things all work. And half of those are not lit. Nope, half of those are not lit. I was thinking they would maybe blink. And that's really how this has been going, is that half work, half do not work. So that one's going to be a no-go. These are actually the nice net ones where they go on the bushes and stuff. And we already have, I think, one of these, but they're different colors. So I don't know if Kayla's going to want the different color ones or if she's going to stay with the white ones. But we'll see if it works, and then we'll let her decide if... I'm telling you, I love this thing. This has been great. All right, looks like... Wait a second, there might be two of them here. So we're not... Okay, they tied them together. So they put it on one large bush. I'm not seeing... Where's the other... Does anybody else see... There it is right there. All right, so this has to be plugged in to this. Okay, for the most part, we are missing a huge section here. Maybe there's three of them. Is there three? No. How's that working? See, this is literally what we've been running into when it comes to Christmas lights, is portion of them work and the other portions do not work. So I'm going to go ahead and spread this thing out, see exactly how many we got here. I think this whole section right here is out. And it should not be out, obviously, because it's connected to that. But let's just make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, so these actually work really well. This is the pile that doesn't work, and those two over there work really good. And these have a different look to them. They're much larger, and they kind of even look a little bit different. And I actually like these a lot more. But we are trying not to spend any money on Christmas decorations that we already have, basically, because we get so much out of storage units. We are basically just, honestly, using what we find in storage units to decorate the entire house. So I think Kayla did put out a couple deers, like I said before. We'll go ahead and check those out. I haven't seen them. And also I found out, I was reading the comments, is that I did grease the doors on the trailers. I didn't know they had grease fittings, to be quite honest with you. And they were all super dry. And one of the grease fittings on the OG trailer, which we've had probably now for 3 or 4 years, is broken. I have to put a new grease fitting on there. So then we'll grease that one up. But other than that, that ain't too shabby. The lights aren't turned on yet. And as a ground level, they really are not that bright. But honestly, we'll see how they look tonight when I'm down here. When we were up there, they did not look bright at all. But some light is better than no light. So let's go ahead and go in here, put that stuff in that side. And then we might actually have to go up and put more buy it nows, because so far I think we've sold 7 or 8 items on buy it now when it comes to whatnot. And I did want a whole bunch of buy it nows on this show. And remember, if you guys are coming out, this video might be coming out afterwards, but we're gonna do it for the next show also, is that we're doing 2 buyers appreciation, one halfway through the show and then one at the very end of the show. Like I always say, this phone is shows it a little bit lighter than what it is, and it's kind of dark outside. Mulching the leaves did really good. I mean, you can actually see exactly where I went and stuff, so that was pretty nice. But we are waiting for the lights to turn on. Kayla just did turn on the Christmas lights in the front of the house, so let's go to the front of the house and show you those. We were gonna grill out tonight, but I forgot that we cooked all that chicken yesterday and we have food for tonight. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is shut that real nice and tight so the cold air don't get in here. And tomorrow we're gonna finish up the woodrow in the backyard so I can go pick up the rest on Monday. And then the rest of this is going to have to wait probably until just Saturday. These are large gloves. I actually did find 2 really nice pair of gloves for me. And we'll see if we can get this stuff right now. We only have extra larges listed. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to actually get the other ones listed, but they will be. If you do want these gloves, they should be listed probably within the next show that we're doing. So we're going to go ahead, see what we can do with that. Let's go see the front yard and Kayla's Christmas lights. All right, let's take a little gander at the Christmas lights. I mean, it looks pretty good. Again, it's showing a lot lighter than it is. You got the Santa, you got the ones on the bushes. I still want to do all the trees and then the little deer with the little Santa Claus on the chimney. Overall, not too shabby at all. I'll tell you this, there is a lot of traffic on Main Street now. 6 months ago, no, I'm just kidding, that's not true, but I was gonna say 6 months ago there wasn't. But I really want to do these trees right here. I think would look absolutely crazy. Even if we were to get maybe half of them done, this tree is considerably bigger than the rest of the trees. So that would need a very large ladder because that one over there is little. So I think it would look really awesome if we were able to do that, but we will see. But what I really want to do is I want to see the lights in the backyard turn on. So what I'm gonna have to do is probably wait around. Everything else is on. We got street lights on, our house lights are on. Okay, we got them. I think there's 1 on. Let's go back, 2 on. All right, so we got 2 on right now. They had full sun today, which means they should be charged up. So let's go back here and take a look at the amount of illumination that these things give out. Can't wait to get that thing serviced and back to normal, because soon we're gonna have to go ahead and start digging that ditch out. I've said it for probably 6 months now that I was gonna do that. Have not done it yet, but it is going to happen. I was gonna do it in the winter because I can just put on some heavy, clothes or whatever, go out there and start digging that ditch. That's, I think, the perfect time because there's not a lot of vegetation in it. We'll try to, weed eat some of that vegetation out of there and then start digging that thing. But these, I'm pretty sure, are really only gonna be good to show you the boundary of the driveway. Because as you can see right here, it is not bright at all. Like, say if you walk over here, that thing is not giving out any light whatsoever. So if we want to actually do lights out here where they're usable and you see stuff, these are gonna have to be upgraded significantly. Now we understand why they probably weren't using solar power, but I think the solar still might work. So take a look. I mean, it's just maybe the bulb, because it definitely has a glow, and then the one over there just turned on. I think it's nice. Honestly, I think it's pretty neat looking. I like them better that they're on, that they're, it looks good. Just not a whole bunch of light actually being emitted from them. I think it's gonna get dark very quickly. I can't stand daylight savings time. I wish it just stayed light for 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, because right now I just want to go to bed and it's only like 5 o'clock. So what we're gonna do is wait till it gets a little bit darker outside. Also, another thing that I straight up messed up on, I don't think that I said this, and it has to do with this. I had a lot of people in the comments asking about the battery situation with the Coleman. And the thing is that I was completely wrong. What happened? I have to actually call my brother and tell him too that I was completely wrong. Let's go ahead, and I think I can turn the light on here. Yeah, we got a light. And what happened is that over here, this thing is actually broken. We need to fix this. This is actually broke. And what we had to do was this thing right here unplugged out of the watchdog. So I don't know what happened. Something unplugged out of it, which meant that this was actually not plugged in. So then when I would come in here to see exactly what was going on with the battery, this was running off of battery. So when I would hit it, the battery would not be charged. Would not, check it out. It's all full. So what's happening is I just straight up messed up. I thought this was plugged in. It was not plugged in for a really long time. What I would like to do is actually unplug it to see what the battery is now. That would probably be kind of smart, I'm guessing, because if it's full, that means that it's charging properly. I'm assuming that's what that would mean. So let's go ahead, let's unplug this thing. So the battery has been disconnected. Let's see what the battery says now. Full. Okie dokie. I didn't mean the battery was disconnected. I meant that the shore power was disconnected. So it is charging properly. The battery is not bad, so I don't need another one. That is good. Nothing new has been done in the camper whatsoever. I would like to see right now if this thing puts out some heat, because it's cold in here right now. It is, okay, it's not that cold. 57, it feels much colder than that. We still got to get the struts on here. We just haven't had time. Maybe I'll do that next week sometime where we can get these things going like that. We just want to make sure that the first time we go, obviously we're going to have to do things and different things and stuff like that, but we want to make sure that it's like ready to roll when we do it type of deal. We've been watching a lot of things. We're very excited to use it. A little bit nervous. I feel like you should be a little bit nervous the first time you use a RV, you know, just because you just don't know. And so right now everything's working because it's on. Look, our microwave in the house don't even work. That thing is awesome. We are excited to get this thing, obviously, actually at a campground or something. We might just, what I would do is there's one, I think, at Huntington Beach State Park, which is right down the road for where we used to live. I would take this there as a little travel thing just to see if it works out and do like thrifting down there or something. And then we could even get the Starlink and then figure out exactly how that works. So like we would take this, I would already have the Starlink for the RV, take our laptop, have everything where we need to, because when we say we want to hit the road, we want to hit the road probably for at least a month. We want to go out there. If we can figure out how to sell this stuff while we're out and about. And the big issue with that, and I'll have to again talk to Whatnot about this, or the post office, if we travel, we want to have our return address obviously here in case something happens, but how do we know how much to ship? So if we're like in Kansas and our return address is South Carolina, how do you ship stuff from Kansas online where somebody in South Carolina isn't getting like the South Carolina rate, you're getting the Kansas rate, and the people in Kansas aren't getting the South Carolina rate, they're getting the Kansas rate. Does that make any sense? Because I think they calculate it from your return address. So I don't know if it's even possible to go on the road and ship that many items, because we would do probably 20 to 30 or maybe even 50 items, and it would kind of be like a live on there where we can hang out a little bit. And I think there's enough room to do it in here. We would have to get a camper shell for the truck. We've been talking, Kayla and I, about that truck and about our vehicle, because to us, vehicles other than the Mustang and the Jeep, they are like kind of pleasure vehicles. They're the ones we like to drive, but the truck is literally a work truck. So we're thinking about maybe in the far future getting a bigger truck with a bigger camper shell where we'll be able to like have all of our shipping stuff and everything like that with us, so we can pack, ship, and get this stuff out to you for lives on the road. So I think it's actually an awesome idea. I think if we can figure this out, we could stay on the road for probably 3 weeks to a month, no more than that. And honestly, I don't know if we would want to stay away from this house that long, because we love this house. We love the backyard. We love, you know, the barn and everything like that. So I think 3 to 4 weeks would be fine, you know, and then we would come back. But we're going to need Starlink, which we'll get on this, and then we will definitely need to figure out how to ship the stuff on the road. If you guys know of anybody that has done this in the past, can you tell me down below who that is? Because I want to contact them on YouTube or something like that to figure out how they did it and how they printed everything out. But I think that that's going to go ahead and wrap this up. This is probably a short video, and I do apologize, but we have just been really focusing on Bearded Thrift Machine content. So we do appreciate everybody that watches. There will be more decorations, more Christmas stuff, and hopefully more camper content coming up. I do appreciate everybody that watches, and I will see you tomorrow.